My name is Belinda Doveston, and it is great to have you with me on the I Ching Cafe, on this channel, on the YouTube or the podcast versions. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell to get the latest episodes into your app as they are released on a Sunday for the weekly episodes and on the monthlies and on the special episodes as we go through our year. Right, well, welcome to our weekly overview for the week commencing the 28th of March 2021. As we look back to last week and reflect on what was the difficulty at the beginning that you were faced with, what were some of the challenges that you went through in a new cycle of beginning, of new growth, of sprouting, and the foal having to get onto his feet or her feet and get up to speed quickly. What was the challenge that you were faced with as part of the startup journey? And of course, we had some very interesting changing lines saying, oh, the horse and the wagon part, and we need to get alliances and we need to get help and just keep your head down and get on with the work. Really, really difficult week, an interesting week for us as we went through this new phase of growth and development. I would love to hear your comments on how this worked out for you last week. I had a week full of lots of development, of realizing the limits of what I can do, reaching out to ask for help, and sometimes recognizing your own limits when you don't have the horsepower is really, really important. So, and then we rounded out the week with Hexagram 51 shock. And boy, did I get surprising news on the Friday. So I am in this process with you, and I've got to work harder than anyone else to work with these hexagrams and these flows of change and make it flow in my life and learn from it. If I'm not paying attention, how do I ask you to pay attention to the flows of change working through us? So that was last week. Really interesting week. In this last week of March, as we bridge between March and April, let us have a look at what the I Ching is asking us to pay attention to this week. Right, so our first hexagram is hexagram 36, darkening of the light. Right, not an easy one. Okay, last week was a lot of action, not easy. This week, not easy. I'm always going to find a way of bringing challenging information for us, challenging flows that really accelerate our development. I'm going to try my best to package them truthfully, but bring useful guidance, because we're going to go through it whether we like it or not. So why don't we go through it equipped with tools to help us navigate the flow of change? 36, darkening of the light. You can see from the structure of the hexagram that light is inside the earth. So the sun has descended into the earth, as it were. It's hiding underneath the earth. And this is the advice of this hexagram. Dangers around us, difficulties present themselves with us, to us. Our environment has negativity and issues. And what we're being asked to mature and develop and learn how to do this week is to go into hiding. This is different to the hexagram 33 retreat, which is withdrawing strategically from a situation, leaving a situation. This is about hiding our light. And the I Ching talks about the story of a very wise, I think a prince in the court of ancient China who was surrounded by, buffoons trying to run the area of the time. And the only way that he could escape being caught out for being highly intelligent and highly capable was to act like everyone else, to be the fool and be undercover so that he would not attract attention. Okay, so this is what this week is calling us to do. Something important we're paying attention to, something important we're growing. There's things happening around us where what we are needing to do to protect our light, to protect our work and families is to go underground. It's just this week, okay? It's just saying that as we start off this week, one of the things is we need to pull back and we need to go into hiding. We need to let the hiding help us evolve and unfold the thing that we're working on, rather than be in the limelight, be in a very visible space where we run the risk of people taking their stuff out on us and people being attracted, like a moth is attracted to the flame. We don't want that. This week we want a little bit of breathing space to be able to go through a process. Another way of thinking about this is when you're going out into the wilderness and you're building a pit fire, so you're digging down into the earth, you're putting your fire into the pit so that wild animals and other travelers can't see that you have a fire, right? Survival skills. This is a survival skill this week of actually putting the fire into the pit, getting out of sight, withdrawing from the world for a little bit and going down into undercover. It might also be a very good week for you to take some time out, take your team out and re-look at some issues. Take yourself out of the frontline focus, go inwards as a team, reflect, discuss, reevaluate where you're at and use the time wisely. So if that's on your agenda for this week, it's very well aligned to what you're needing to pay attention to. Take the heat off the external and go in, reflect and do what you need to do without fanfare. Now, we have 2 changing lines for this week in the first and the third position. Our first changing line for the week, our first little pop of intense change that's come to bring us some help, some learning, is in line 1. And that says we're on a very important, very difficult and dangerous mission. Okay, the I Ching always puts these very, very sinister tones over a lot of these things. And you'll find that sometimes the hexagrams bring major issues in the week or the month. Sometimes they bring small things, sometimes deep things, sometimes surface things. Go with the flow of your life. This is not about the whole world coming to an end, but it's saying that we are on a dangerous and difficult task. We have undertaken something that others don't want to undertake or don't feel they can or don't want to, don't have the courage to. But you're the one who said yes to the dangerous task, the important task, the thing that others don't want to do. And our task this week is that we have to accept that with undertaking this difficult challenge, drudgery comes with. And really this idea of drudgery, the word drudgery, fits together with the whole hexagram as a whole. That we accept the drudgery required in the circumstances. We accept the challenge and we accept the hard work that is required and we get on with it. So the first step, recognize that you are doing something really important, that it has filled with danger and difficulty. That sounds wonderful. But see it as you're on a quest with the fellowship for the ring in Lord of the Rings and you're undertaking this very important task that's going to save the world. And there's lots of danger and lots of weird creatures out there in the woods and your task is to dig the fire in, to hide the light and go undercover. Get that invisibility cloak on, get your ring on and go undercover and do the important job that you are here to do. Now in line 3, very interesting, this changing line talks about in our toiling and the drudgery and the things that need to get done this week, somehow by accident we stumble upon the root cause of a problem we face. It speaks about coming around a corner and encountering the Dark Lord that is the heart of this whole evil empire. Now we're back in Lord of the Rings fantasy world, right? So we stumble upon the heart of the darkness. We stumble upon the heart or the real issue or the person or the situation or the root core issue that is creating some challenge for us right now. And of course, what do we want to do? We want to go in and smite it. We want to remove it from the matrix. We want to go in there and blast it away. And what the I Ching is saying is that take hasty action now that you know what the issue is, but don't be overzealous because this issue is a long-standing, deep issue that needs continual work to root out. When you pull out a plant and you don't get all the roots, they keep on growing. So I just want you to bear in mind that as we suddenly go, whoa, that's the real problem, that we don't go too far in trying to push a hard resolution straight away. We recognize that the solution of pulling out this problem, of pulling out the darkness, is going to take time and continual effort. It's a bigger process at play than just a simple snip, okay? It is a big amount of work to do that. So there's a blessing that comes with that. It means we get to finally understand the hidden thing that has been causing us grief and we get to start to tackle it. Okay, so those 2 changing lines. Unfortunately, this is a challenging hexagram. It is going to be a week where there's just It might feel a bit heavy. It might feel that drudgery. You might feel it. You might feel your energy drop. But just go under the radar, because that is the tool. Now, that's the flow of change. And here is the tool. Here is the maturing we can do to master this moment. Now, our outcome hexagram for 36 plus these 2 changing lines in particular gives us hexagram 2, the receptive. This is the mother, this is the soil, this is the nurturing earth that wants to support and nurture and care and grow things. It is a beautiful hexagram of supporting the creation process, of supporting others, of giving everything what it needs, of being present, of literally the womb that brings the child to life. So as an outcome or a second flow of change for this week, it's a beautiful hexagram. There's some relief here for us. If we focus on this darkness and going undercover, there's an opportunity to grow things, to build things deep within the earth, to plant, to nurture those seeds that are in the earth, to grow things and to nurture and take our journey forward. The creation or the idea, perhaps we think about back at the beginning of March, I spoke about the creative being the main flow of change for March. Well, here we have its complement to the receptive, supporting the tail end of this week as we bring things to fruition, as we give them life and we give them form and we bring them into realization. We just have this kind of gnarly energy to work with. As stuff is happening around us, we need some space to let these seeds grow undercover and out of sight, and not jump into the fray and be rah, 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 rah out there. Be quiet, be still, be undercover. I think that's quite clear, right? Okay, so that is our focus for this week. And I want you to think about, as we work with these weekly hexagrams, I'm obviously very attentive to my experience of them and how they flow. And I've really noticed how they work at multiple different levels. There'll be a thing that happens in your outer world. There'll be a situation that ties to them, and perhaps it's a small thing or not. And then there's these bigger processes. I always find that in the weeks where we have a particular hexagram, I'm asking questions of myself and of the people around me and of the things that I'm doing that are related to that particular hexagram. So there's a surface process where stuff happens, and then there's a deeper process where we are transforming. And the hexagrams become symbols of healing and of change. They become opportunities to reflect back, like you're looking into the lake, a mirror image on the lake, and you're reflecting back and saying, what do I need to shift in myself this week? This energy is here. This energy is circulating in my matrix or in the matrix, wherever or whatever name you want to use. It's here. It's circulating through what Stephen Kasha calls the heart mind. It comes in and it goes woo, 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 and then it brings transformation. So when we go through these weeklies, there's stuff, but let the hexagrams do the woo, woo, woo for you. Let them transform and rumble around a little bit in there, just let them rumble in the heart mind and see what shifts and what moves around as you go through your week. All right. Thank you for being here with me. Please like this episode if it brings you something useful, or share it or comment. I'd love to hear your comments on how you have worked with the I Ching in the weeklies and the monthlies and the insights that you have had. It shares with the whole community, and I really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.